Hello and welcome to Daytona for the Gatorade Duels as we set the field for the Daytona 500. And just like for the Bud Shootout, join me in the booth is Stephen Paul III.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back.
In pole day qualifying, it was Amy Shelley taking home pole position, and therefore she is starting on the pole for Gatorade Duel number one. She'll start alongside William Duncan, who will race now on speed. That is confirmed. Also in on speed, no matter what happens in this duel, Henry Sanford and Stephen Paul III, they'll make up row number two. And then the drivers who kind of control their own destiny, and if they race their way in, Chris Wilson, Tristan Wilhoit make up row number three, Alexander Rowe, and Jack James in row number four, with Gene Sanford and Dylan Ebrahimian in row number five. Here's the rest of the starting grid for this duel. Um, Steven, I'll hand it over to you. What do you expect here with duel number one, where a lot of these drivers have a lot of openings for what they can and can't do to be able to make this race?
I think the main important thing is that not the battle for the lead, but to watch that 14th position. That's all you have to do. It's not about winning. It's all about making the race. Because if you make the race, you have a shot at the biggest prize. This is not the race you want to win. And I think look out for the 44. The 44 will be probably aggressive. RJ Reynolds. He's trying to get in the 14th spot himself. He's currently starting 17th, and he wants to move himself up. And also is the 47. She's not locked in too. So those two drivers are the one to watch being the most aggressive. And they probably want to push Amy Shelley out because if Amy makes the top 14, then it's the top 13 that we take. So they want
Top
to try
15, you mean?
top 15. So they want to drop her below the order so another car can
Oh,
make it in if you're a teammate.
oh, okay, I get what you mean. It's top 14 if she is not in the top 14. It's top 14 other than that 12 car.
Yeah,
That's what
pretty
we'll
much.
take.
So if Amy falls below and you have like a teammate, like I don't think any of the 44's teammates are in this race.
No, we do not. Wait, hold on. Yeah, we do. Double Zero, who's actually already locked into the race on speed, the Double Zero.
Yeah, so maybe Henry can help the 44 make the race. You know, this is also Toyota's debut in the Hooters series.
Let's see. Did you? Wow, that was not the mistake I was expecting you to make.
Toyota was in season 2 or something like
Well,
that.
Toyota was in season one of Hooter series. This is the Coke Vanilla Cup series, though. You just said this is Toyota's debut of the Hooter series.
Wow, that was all right. Well, I'm gonna go back to bed before the start of this race.
So teammates in this race, since you brought that up, we have the DEI teammates, the 1 and the 8, actually starting back to back here too. That's what's interesting. Other teammates as well. I saw the Penske teammates, the 2 and the 12 are in this one. Um, 23 and the 22 are also Bill Davis teammates. They're in this race. So we've got a lot of teammates up and down this. You have Seth Cole, Dylan Young, some of the Hendrick teammates are in this. I think there's a lot of possibilities there. And you have drivers like Sam Young, Tom Shelley, Kyle Matthews, William Flickinger. They know they can't race. They can't make this race on speed, but Tom Shelley already knowing he's in on points. Pace car's pulling off. We're set to go for 12 laps here for Gatorade Duel number one. And the green flag is out. We're underway here for the Gatorade Duels.
Also interesting note: if the 31 wins the race, they get sponsorship from AT&T this week.
I no clue how I really wanted to work that one in. That's just kind of a funny thing there. They're already in the race, by the way.
Oh, maybe they'll get the sponsorship.
I mean, they're starting on the outside front row. They're already locked into the race on speed. So, just saying.
It'd be more fun if we had a Pepsi car.
Well, already Stephen Paul III going to make the move for the race lead. Amy Shelley just needs to keep this car in one piece, and she will lead the field to green on Sunday. So I think that's probably going to be part of her game plan, I would think.
Just fall to the back and just keep the car in one piece.
Meanwhile, it's going to be Chris Wilson, Alexander Rowe going to second and third now, behind that Bill Davis Racing 23 car. Gene Sanford up on the outside groove all by herself in the 47.
I think the 44 has moved into the top 14. That's the spot I'll be looking at.
Let's see. 14th last time by was actually the 22.
Oh, well, the
So
44's
a
got
little
the
bit
bottom
off.
line, so
Yeah, bottom line there is definitely key. I think 14th right now would be somewhere around probably the 31 or the 4, if I'm being honest. So, let's see where they're at this time by. Amy Shelley now on that outside groove all by herself, so that's helping her way back to the back of the pack. Let's see, this time by 14th place was the 44.
See, that's what he needs. But Gene Sanford's all the way in the back. Now she needs to work her way up to the field.
Yeah, 47, also one of the cars, the only other car in this race, actually. It's just the 44 and 47. They do not have points to fall back on in this race. Gene Sanford does have the 19th place speed, though, from qualifying, if need be, to try and fall back on if a lot of the cars that were quick on Sunday make their way into the race.
Sam Young is having a rough weeks from the Bud shootout and now the 14s in last.
Yeah, battling for last, yeah. Meanwhile, Stephen Paul third, Brandon Patterson now the top 2, and Seth Cole into 3rd in the National Guard Chevy.
I think all of us from the Coke Vanilla series are really hoping Seth has a better season.
That would be good too, yeah. Dylan Young now into 4th, another one of the Hendrick Motorsports cars, and another one that I think Coke Vanilla officials would love to see do better this year.
Yes, and I think the bottom line is coming.
And move for the lead, and Henry Sanford has a spot in the race, but it's already trying to make it 3 wide for 3rd.
Well, I was saying everybody was racing calm. Now we're going 3 wide in the front of the field.
Yeah, and Seth Cole gets shoved up onto the outside line, no help.
44 is on the high side. That's going to be a killer.
Yep, probably. James Qualls trying to race his way into the 500 there, the 11 car. As Seth Cole currently 10th, 14th that time by. There's the battle for it right there. 45 gets it. That would be huge for the 15. If the 45 can race their way in, the 15 will race on points.
No, the 47's now on the bottom line. But I think she actually loses in the part of the draft.
A little bit. It's kind of interesting back there what's going on with that 47. Just running a part-time schedule. Maybe just doesn't have that equipment needed to be able to stay in the draft. I don't know.
Well, the car was made in a hut in Australia, so.
And we were talking about just save the car. Amy Shelley back into the thick of things on that inside line as Cole Deaver falls to the back. And they're side by side for the lead still, 23 and the 17.
Every row is side by side. This is some good racing here at the Duels.
Yeah, bodes well for the 500 too. As Cole Deaver now gets to the inside line. 31 is in on speed, so I'm not sure how much he's really worried about whether or not he finishes top 14. He's just racing for starting spot today.
Is it Jack James? Jack James made 3 wide in the front.
Well, yeah, he did, right underneath James Qualls. And they're still side by side right now.
Looks like both lines can have a good push. It's just whatever line, like the modern day, gets a better run. That's what's going to pull.
At the line, that was really close there. As Kyle Matthews was scored in the 14th position. They're 3 wide for 14th back there. As we're already halfway home.
Sanford and what is his name? Reynolds better think about getting to the bottom with 5 laps to go. You probably won't get pushed to the high side with 4 or 5. You get to the bottom line.
Oh, you're thinking of the 47 Gene, yeah. There's 2 Sanfords in the race. Gene Sanford is on that inside line. Just the problem is not really getting much help there and not able to move up closer to the 8. In fact, the 16's going to fall into that hole there. And it's not looking good for either of them.
Well, if Reynolds can get to the bottom, I think he can have a shot. He had up there early in the race.
And he does get to that inside line. Now, I will say this. Reynolds, 33rd on speed. So I don't think he's going to have that speed to be able to make it. Gene at least has a chance. I mean, that's 19th. That's going to be borderline.
Well, I don't mean to cut you off, but there were 4 wide for the lead up there.
And it was Henry Sanford, the other Sanford in this race. Clicked the wrong car. That was making it 4 wide then.
Oh, no.
Oh, boy. They are 4 wide. Stephen Paul the third is up in there.
Oh, no.
He's in the wall off turn 4.
Oh, no. And Mohammed's to the lead.
Muhammad Zain Abdullah leads the duel at Daytona, but the battle is for 14th.
Now look at that. Now that's very interesting. The 44 and the 47 have teamed up on the bottom side to get into the front.
Chris Wilson was scored 14th that last time by.
They got 3 laps to do it. Can Reynolds and Sanford do it?
Well, and already Wilson already falling out of that 14th spot. Right now, I don't see anyone that was top 3 of the speed guys in this duel in the top 14. Well, Amy Shelley's there in the top 14, so it would take 15th. Oh, whoops.
Can the 44 and the 47 get there with 3 laps to go? It's interesting. They teamed up together to both try to make the race.
Well, it's going to be close this time by. Last time it was Chris Wilson. This time by, who is it? They're saying it was Stephen Pollard the third in the 23. There's 14th, and we're actually taking 15th. So right now, 15th was Wilson. Now it's Pollard. Now it actually might be Shelley.
And here comes Reynolds.
Reynolds is right behind Shelley in what could be the battle for the transfer spot.
Ooh, 22 with a little problem in the back.
Yeah, got a little sideways there. Zachary Fitzwater on the outside line is going to fall back as the top, I think, about 6 there now. Maybe top 7 are going to be single file as they're coming to 2 to go.
I think the 44 and the 47 are in the spot.
44 is the transfer spot right now, last time by. We're taking top 15 because the 12 is up here. The 12 is right there in 5th.
And now the front pack is now single file.
Top 9 are single file. Tom Shelley, well, never mind. They were.
Well,
right now the
4. Oh, can they get it? Nope, 66 cuts him off.
Right now, this is where that battle is for 15th. Stephen Paul III holds 14th, and it's Gene Sanford on the outside looking in.
Oh, good move by Gene to go back to. She was never going to make a shot on the high side.
White flag is out for the Gatorade duel number 1.
They're both of them. Oh, wait, no, they're not.
Yes, they are. That was 14th and 15th. Gene Sanford in the final transfer spot on the last lap.
No, the 12th and 9th, Charles.
Yeah, which means we're taking top 15.
Oh, yeah. Can they stay there? It looks like somebody... Oh,
Sanford's going to make the move on Reynolds.
Reynolds is going to be pissed.
Well, if he can just lose if he only loses 1, he's still in.
That's right. This is where it's going to get interesting. Can they hold off the 22?
Here comes the 22.
He's not going to get there.
I don't think he is.
Got the push.
Oh, he's going to be close. Braddock got it. Braddock got it. At the line.
And RJ Reynolds is pissed.
But it was Muhammad Zain Abdullah who wins the Gatorade duel number 1. Kev Shear, Sam Young, Alexander Rowe, Jack James, Cole Deaver, Kyle Matthews, Tom Shelley, Henry Sanford. Oh, actually, okay, I'm just going to go this way. Muhammad Zain Abdullah wins. Kev Shear, Sam Young, Alexander Rowe, Kyle Matthews, Jack James, Henry Sanford, Amy Shelley's top 8, Cole Deaver, Tom Shelley, Chris Wilson, Stephen Paul III, Delon Abrahamian, Gene Sanford, and Bill Braddock Jr. raced their way into the Daytona 500. And with some of those guys, let's see, with Sam Young, Kyle Matthews racing their way in, that actually means that Samet Ozkan and Zachary Fitzwater cannot make it in on speed. That's what that does mean. That does not help RJ Reynolds' case. 33rd. Oh, whoops. Game froze there because it did a weird click out. So the drivers that are going to be having to sweat bullets here. RJ Reynolds, Tristan Wilhoit, Seth Cole, Zachary Fitzwater, James Qualls. Will Lewis is in on points, so that's where he'll have to fall back on, I think. I don't know. He's got chance for it. Will Lewis will race. Dylan Young, William Flickinger, Brennan Patterson, William Duncan going to be sweating bullets here for duel number 2. So that was interesting.
It was.
Also worth mentioning this with Henry Sanford and Stephen Paul III racing their way in. That means that Chris Wilson would have been in on speed, but he already raced his way in. That means Plord and Wilhoit actually will make it on speed. So Wilhoit will race despite finishing 17th in the duel.
And William Duncan because he was 25th.
Well, Duncan will have to fall back on speed. Pollard and Henry Sanford both make it, which would have pushed it back to Wilson and Plord. Plord's in duel 2. But Wilson also races his way in, meaning Tristan Wilhoit will race on speed. So, there is that. With that, that is duel number 1. Steven, I won't take your thoughts. Well, actually, do you want to or no? Or do you want to save it for duel 2?
I'll say it for duel 2.
Okay, so with that, we'll take a short commercial break and we'll be right back for duel number 2. And welcome back to Daytona as we're here for duel number 2. We'll go through the top 5, or the first 5 rows here, and then I'll hand it over to Steven for his thoughts from duel 1 and heading into duel 2. Chris Louvier is the pole sitter for this duel, as he will be starting on the outside of the front row no matter what for the Daytona 500, as long as he can keep this car in one piece. He'll start alongside Allie Nelson, who is in the race on speed right now. Levi McIntyre and Zach Rogers make up row number 2. They also are both in the race on speed, regardless of what happens. Preston Plord, with the results of duel number 1, will start inside row 3, and he is locked into the 500, and he'll start alongside Sky Commons. Row number 4 is Johnny Gardner and William Brock, 2 drivers trying to make the field still. And Mary Shelley, who will race, just a matter of where she starts, will start alongside Isaac Flickinger in row number 5. Here's the rest of the starting grid for this duel. I hand it over to you, Steven.
Duel 1 was an interesting race. There was a lot of 3-wide racing. We had one 4-wide instance. This race will be more chaotic as there's more cars that are looking to get in the field. The cars to watch, as I mentioned, the ones I was watching last one was the 47, the 44. This one will be Sanford, Osborne, Flick, Zach, and Isaac Flickinger. Those are the cars we're going to watch to get in the top 15, as they have no other options but to race. Zach can fall back on points, but the best way to get in the field is get in the top 15 without having a heartache.
I'll correct you a little bit on this. So the situations as they arose from duel number 1. In this duel, the 05 of Charles Sanford, the 70 of Joshua Osborne, and the 42 of Mark George. Those 3 cars have no other way of making the field but to finish top 14 in this duel outside of Chris Louvier. Chris Louvier's positioning in this field does not matter. If he's in the top 15, or if he's in the top 14, we'll take the 15th place finisher. If he's not in the top 14, then we're only taking top 14. Those 3 cars, they cannot point their way in. Doing the math, they cannot make it in on speed either. Other drivers in front of them, some of them are some pretty big long shots. Worth mentioning, Sky Commons can make the field just by having either Allie Nelson, Levi McIntyre, there's my first instance, Zach Rogers or Preston Plord making the race, or by racing their way in. Johnny Gardner with no points. If 2 of those 4 race their way in, he will race the 500. William Brock is with 3, and Mary Shelley would be with 4. Beyond that, there's a lot of this many guys have to race their way in front of them type of thing, because there's a lot that can still happen here. There's still 5 points on. There are 5 positions in the field on points still available. There are 4 positions still available on speed. A lot can happen. Pace cars pulling off. We're set to go. Clouds have rolled over the Daytona International Speedway. Temperature coming down a little bit. And the green flag is out for Gatorade duel number 2.
It's going to be very interesting to see how this first lap. Will this duel be tame like the first one, or will we have a lot more 4-wide racing?
That's going to be interesting to see, yeah. I'd say it's going to be just as tame is what I would go for. Although then again, I wasn't expecting to see the 4-wide happen either. We'll let them go for a couple laps before we really try and start looking at that battle for top 14. Especially because we don't know what Louvier's game plan is really going to be. Although Levi McIntyre going to force the hand early. He's going to go for the race lead here. And already Preston Plord 3 wide.
And Johnny Gardner already going to the block for second. He's like, screw it, I want to win.
Ali Nelson starting to fall towards the back. Worth mentioning from duel number 1, we do know that all 3 Bill Davis racing cars will be in the 500.
And Bill Davis is going to be making some money.
Well, they had all 3 cars top 30 in points, so now they just know they'll have them in the first 3 races. But Bill Bragg Jr. racing his way in with the final spot, so... looks like Zorline, Isaac Flickinger, and Ali Nelson going to fall towards the back of the field, though, as Levi McIntyre, the early leader.
And Gardner up to the high, so he's going to get 3. He's going to go way back now.
Yeah, I noticed that Chris Louvier not as susceptible to just going to the back like Amy Shelley was in duel number 1. Not quite sure why. I mean... Got the pole. You got the front row starting spot already. No real reason to be up here at this point in the race.
Man, those numbers on that 88 car is very interesting.
We'll let you see these as they go down the back straightaway or as they go into there. Yeah. The Snickers Dark Scheme battling with his teammate, Mary Shelley, the Season 3 champion. We've got both past champions in this duel, and ironically enough, neither one of them will have to use the past champions this season for the 500. So.
Something we did not get to say in the 2006 season, that Ganassi is running in the top 2.
Well, they're not running in the top 2 yet, so we still can't say it. But Christopher Pierce going for 3rd. Here comes Mark George. We mentioned in the top, the only way he makes this race is by racing his way in. He's currently in the top 10. Actually going to be in top 5 there that time around. As currently the final transfer spot is held by the 55 of Zach Flickinger.
That's exactly what he needs. And Isaac Flickinger is in the back of the pack. Sanford has not moved up yet.
No, he hasn't. And Shelton now moves up to that outside line there, a little bit down the back straightaway.
I guess Jeff Jack's backup car is not doing too well for Sanford.
Well, it's still early. We'll see. They're not even halfway home yet in this duel, so the action started to really pick up around lap 9 in duel 1.
The 15, who was one of the first guys not locked in the field, but locked it in duel 1, he's moving up to the front of the field.
Yeah, and right now, Flickinger's still holding that final transfer spot. He's got an opening there if he tries to go into it a little bit. He's not taking advantage of it, though. I'm amazed by the gap that's between the 15 and the 83, though.
Yeah, I know. That usually doesn't happen. It looks like the 15 is gone. Nope. Steve Paul is going to take it.
Yeah, the 55 actually pulled right up alongside the 83 again as Tim Randolph in the 60 goes up to the outside line. Looks like 36 is going to be more than willing to just take her spot in on speed, or maybe he's just kind of relaxing.
Yeah. Is the 21 logged in?
No. And definitely does not have the speed to make it either. It's going to come down to points for the 21 or racing their way in.
I think the 60, that's the 70.
That is the 70. Like. Yeah. Remember, they're both Best Buy cars, but they were in different duels. So 70 has to race their way in, and right now they're 23rd. So that's not happening either. Last time by, Zach Flickinger still held the 15th spot.
Zach Flickinger's living on a prayer.
And right now you can say it, both Ganassi cars that are in this duel running top 3, and now the other rookie, Jeffrey McCullough for Roush Racing, is into 4th.
Now the top 5 single file looks like the bottom line is a lot stronger than it was in duel 1.
It certainly looks like, as Ali Nelson now joins the pack, and Christopher Pierce goes for the lead. Well, tried to.
Yeah, man, Levi's got a strong car.
Certainly does. I think the field's going to be paying attention to this for the 500. As a little bit of a, looks like about a car length gap there for the 99. And the battle for 3rd right now, McCullough going to grab that top spot around the outside of the 42, maybe? Not quite.
Well, the 78 in the back has got the bottom line, so he's Isaac's making some ground back there.
He is, let's see, that time by is going to be scored in the 16th position. That means he's battling the 55 for the transfer spot right now.
This is going to make an interesting Thanksgiving dinner for these two.
Right now, 05 on that outside line would not race. The defending Daytona 500 champion. As now they're starting to go 3 wide up here. 42 gets moved up by the 5. The 88 now to the far outside line.
And yes, the 05 is still sitting in the Daytona Hall of Fame Museum.
Yeah. Isn't it lovely up there? Yeah.
It is.
Christopher Pierce, though, leads the lap. First time in a while that Ganassi car's led a lap.
Do we got a shot at Seth Cole going crazy in the pits?
Maybe. He was in duel number 1. I think he's also a little bit nervous, too. Those points not all that great. And the speed questionable. He needs a lot of help as well. Go ahead.
Mark George is on the high side now, so that does not bode well for him with only 3 laps to go.
Right now, Zach Flickinger on the outside looking in. I think the bubble might be right here with Preston Plord, Vince Almarego, and Max Anderson.
Well, the 05 got to the bottom.
Yeah, he did. Let's see at the line who is in the bubble position. My bet's on Preston Plord here. Never mind, it was McCullough, the 26. And it is still top 15 because Louvier's right there. He's still in the top 14.
Yes, he is.
So
and Isaac has raced his way in right now, right behind Gardner.
Also worth mentioning that there's the battle for the spot because Smet Ozkan would have grabbed 15th away from McCullough. So right now the 20, the 26, and the 60. This is the battle for 14th and 15th on the racetrack.
The 70 had to race in too, and I think he's ahead of this pack.
70's right there. No, he's not.
Damn it. Looks like there's a little bit of a gap from the pack, so this is going to help Mark George, who's stuck on the high side.
Let's see, that time by, they're saying it's the 60. 60 in the 15th.
Look at Sanford go aggressive, pulling the Dave Blaine from 2001.
Tried to. Inside line checked up there. Side by side up here. Chris Washer wants to race his way into the 500.
Look at Isaiah. Isaiah working his way up there. Isaac, whatever.
Steve Pollard also on that outside line is in the 500 right now.
Oh, man. Sanford's got a good spot if he can stay down there. White flag coming up.
Yep, they're going to be coming to the white flag this time by the defending champion. We'll see the white flag first in Gatorade Duel number 2. 1 to go at Daytona.
I wonder if he's going to have Chris Louvier help him win this race.
Samet Ozkan in the final transfer spot, battling with the 26.
Oh, this is going to get good right here. 18 carts to the bottom. He hasn't been locked in yet either.
He hasn't been locked in yet, but he was going to be able to make it in on speed. I see the 99's in here. That would lock the 83, but the 83 is also up here as well. Looks like it's going to be Chris Washer. He's going to block the inside line. Let's look back at the 29.
Well, 05 got stuck in the high side, so that's not... Oh, never mind. There he goes.
29 was last scored in 15th. It's going to be Chris Washer winning the race. But who's going to grab the final transfer spot? It's Jeffrey McCullough, the 26.
It looks like let's see, who raced in? Mark George raced in the 06, the 78.
Okay, well, here we go. So here's how this worked. Chris Louvier finished 12th. That means we're taking top 15. So Jeffrey McCullough takes home the final transfer spot. Chris Washer races his way in. William Brock, Christopher Pierce, Sky Commons, Levi McIntyre, Zach Rogers, Steve Pollard, Isaac Flickinger, Mark George, Johnny Gardner, Mary Shelley, Preston Plord, Vince Almarego, and Jeffrey McCullough race their way in. So 36 will have to fall back on speed. 99 raced their way in, which would have locked the 83 in. 83's in, which would lock the 06 in. 06 raced their way in. That would have locked the 18. 18 was in. That means the 78 would have been locked in on speed.
Yeah.
78 raced their way in.
And Port Sanford, Jessica, and
Which
the
does
70 are
mean
going
that
home.
James Qualls will make the 500 on qualifying speed.
All the Gibbs cars made it.
Yeah, all three Gibbs cars make it. So that leaves three spots up for grabs. Zach Rogers also raced in. Uh,
I can't.
I think worthy to say, I don't know who's actually going to make it in. All I can tell you is three cars that are definitely DNQing.
I could say the 05, the 70, and the 21 are going to the house.
Well, there is no confirmation on 21 because they could have still pointed their way in.
Yeah.
So this much is for certain. As we get ready to show you the starting grid, the 44, the 05, and the 70 are going to the DNQ race. They will not race. Everyone else, there's a chance. I don't know. I really don't. And I'm not going to try and bore you guys by sitting here for 10 minutes trying to go through this and figure it out. So with that, I will hand it over to Steven for some final thoughts on the duels, and then we will basically crunch some numbers here and figure out who are the 42 drivers who will start the Great American Race.
A lot more tamer race. There was a good battle throughout the field. Congrats to Mark, Isaac, and some of the guys who had to race to win. I hope to be back for the 500 and the D&Q race will be pretty soon. Thanks for having me
Well,
again,
after
Charles.
this one, we're recording this about a week ahead of when this race is actually uploaded.
Oh,
So you can't get to it right away. That would kind of spoil some things.
yeah.
Um, but at least it'll give you some chance to see the cars, and so hopefully you might be able to get the same day as the duels go up. So hopefully, what I will say is hopefully the DNQ race following this will be up either Thursday night or Friday through Facebook Live, through the group page. Results of that will be posted to Discord. Um, and I will try and remember to place the results of the DNQ race in the description for the 500 as well, just in case.
And I got to be added to the Discord.
Okay, I'll make sure to send you an invite, and then I can get you also the roles for the being in the series so you can get notifications. Um, with that said, congrats to Chris Washer and... Oh, shoot, who won the other one?
Um, I
Was it
I
Sam
think
Young? No.
no, Sam Young was last.
No. He was last at one point. He raced his way in.
Oh yeah, I'm just
Oh no, okay. Congrats to Mohammed Zain Abdullah and Chris
yes.
Washer on winning the dual races. With that said, I'd like to thank you for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you haven't for more content besides just NR. And I'd like to thank Steven for joining me, and I'll see you next time.
See ya.